Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're tackling something that's honestly keeping a lot of AI developers up at night. We're talking about taking full, uncompromising control of your AI search infrastructure. Specifically, we are cutting the cord on those expensive managed cloud services and exploring exactly how you can self-host your very own vector databases on a virtual private server, or VPS. If you're looking to build cutting-edge AI apps with advanced models like Claude, but you actually want to keep your data secure and your budget somewhat sane, you are definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat, shall we? If you are building an AI application right now, you know that scaling is the ultimate goal. But, ironically, it's also the ultimate trap. You see, paying per query fees to manage SaaS services like Pinecone might seem incredibly convenient on day one, but as your user base grows, those usage-based costs can skyrocket exponentially. We have all had that moment of sheer panic opening a monthly cloud bill, right? Suddenly, the very infrastructure that got your startup off the ground is the exact thing suffocating its growth.
And, well, the way out of that trap requires a pretty fundamental shift in how you think about your architecture. On one hand, the managed AI services route locks you into highly variable operational expenses and, frankly, frustrating vendor lock-in. But on the flip side, the self-hosted VPS model totally flips the script. By moving to a self-hosted setup, your costs suddenly become fixed and entirely predictable. Think about it. Once your server is paid for, each additional similarity search you run is essentially free, aside from the electricity to power the server, of course. You're basically trading variable anxiety for predictable control.
We've got a lot of ground to cover today to get you deploying. So here's our exact roadmap. First, why self-host vector databases? Second, choosing your vector database. Third, supercharging Claude with RAG. Fourth, a step-by-step VPS setup. Fifth, securing your AI stack. And finally, number 6, the Vox 4 VPS advantage. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Why self-host vector databases? We'll look at getting full control and predictable scaling. Just as a quick refresher, to make sure we're all on the same page, a vector database operates very differently from the traditional relational databases you might be used to. It doesn't rely on classic text matches or SQL queries. Instead, it's the specialized storage specifically for embeddings. It performs what we call similarity searches over vectors to find related concepts, contexts, and nuances. Honestly, it's like a giant puzzle where the database finds the pieces that look the most alike. This is absolutely the essential backbone for modern AI search, Q&A workflows, and recommendation engines. So why bring this technology in-house? Well, it fundamentally shifts your operational model. First off, you get incredible cost efficiency because of that fixed server cost we talked about. But it's way more than just about the money. You get complete end-to-end control over your sensitive data. If you're navigating GDPR or HIPAA compliance, this is a total game changer because your data literally never leaves your server. Plus, with the right setup, you get massive performance capabilities. We're talking billion-scale indexing and the absolute flexibility to upgrade your hardware or swap out software without ever stressing about vendor lock-in. Moving right along to Section 2, choosing your vector database. Let's find that perfect open-source fit for your specific workload. Now, there is definitely no one-size-fits-all here. Your choice maps perfectly to what you're trying to do. If raw speed and billion vector scalability are your absolute top priorities, you're going to want to pick Milvus for its GPU support, though keep in mind it does require sidecars like AtCity and Minile. If you're looking for built-in NL integrations, on-the-fly embeddings, and powerful hybrid search, Weaviate is a fantastic choice, even if it can be a bit memory-heavy. Need something blazingly fast, lightweight, built-in Rust, and amazing at metadata filtering? Qdrant is your best friend. And finally, if you're just starting out and need a simple in-memory solution for quick prototyping, ChromaDB is incredibly easy to spin up. All right, Section 3, supercharging Claude with RAG, or as I like to think of it, the brain and the memory. Think of it like this. Claude, especially the latest Opus 4.7 model, is the brilliant reasoning brain, while your vector database is its vast long-term memory. And they work together through a workflow called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG. It all happens in 3 really elegant steps. First, you embed and store your documents, turning your raw data into vectors. Second, when a user asks a question, you compute an embedding for that query and retrieve the most similar results from the database. Finally, you take those specific context snippets and feed them directly into Claude's prompt. Claude synthesizes that exact knowledge to generate a highly accurate answer, totally bypassing the hallucinations you'd get if you just relied purely on the AI's base training data. Section 4. Step-by-step VPS setup, going from a completely blank server to a running database. Now, setting this infrastructure up yourself might sound super intimidating at first, but let me assure you it is remarkably straightforward today. Thanks to modern containerization, specifically Docker, deploying your database is literally a matter of running a few simple commands over SSH. First, provision your VPS. We usually recommend at least 16 gigs of RAM and fast NVMe storage. Next, install Docker and Docker Compose. Then, just download the official config file for your chosen database. Finally, run the container. In a matter of minutes, you can go from a blank server to having Qdrant listening on port 6333, Weaviate on 8080, or Milvus on 1950-300. It is shockingly seamless.
Section 5. Securing your AI stack, because you absolutely need to protect your new long-term memory.
Of course, self-hosting is a bit of a double-edged sword, right? You are the admin now, so we need to lock down this server tightly. You have to treat this like any serious production environment. Start with network access. Please do not expose your database ports publicly. Use a UFW firewall or SSH tunnels to restrict access strictly to your app server. Next, enable built-in authentication like API keys or tokens, which both Weaviate and Qdrant support. For backups, get a routine going using tools like Qdrant Snapshot API or Milvus's built-in volume backups. And finally, you know the saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. Deploy a lightweight monitoring stack with Prometheus and Grafana right alongside your database to keep an eye on query latency and RAM usage in real time.
Finally, Section 6, the Vox4 VPS advantage. Let's talk about getting enterprise hardware for AI. To get that cloud-like performance without the absurd per-query pricing, your physical foundation matters immensely. This is really where your hosting provider makes or breaks your application. You want hardware that handles intense I/O operations without breaking a sweat. Vox4 VPS plans are absolutely ideal here because they eliminate I/O bottlenecks entirely by using pure enterprise-grade NVMe SSDs paired with high-end AMD EPYC or Intel Xeon processors. When you're asking a database to sort through millions of dense vectors in literally milliseconds, having this level of hardware ensures your similarity searches are blazing fast for users anywhere on the globe.
Let's actually put some real-world numbers to this. The magic number today? It's 8. A Vox4 lifetime plan with just 8 gigabytes of RAM, 8 CPU cores, and 200 gigabytes of pure NVMe storage gives you an incredible amount of headroom. I mean, that setup is more than enough to run a robust production instance of Weaviate or Qdrant for a rapidly growing app. And the absolute best part? It comes with perfectly predictable pricing. There are absolutely no surprise bills at the end of the month just because your app happened to go viral. Your AI application absolutely deserves a robust, lightning-fast foundation, but it really shouldn't come at the cost of runaway SaaS expenses that punish you just for growing. So I'll leave you with this. Are you going to take uncompromising control of your AI stack today, or are you going to let third-party per-query fees dictate the limits of your innovation? The tools are literally right in front of you. Time to go build.